Hey, Dr. Film here, and yes, I'm qualified to have that name. Before we begin, you should know that this review will contain no spoilers. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for reviews and more. And please follow me on Instagram at Dr. Film for updates on my videos and more. And so, with all that said and done, let us begin this review.
The characters.
Let's kick off this list with our main protagonist, Jaime Reyes, played by Miguel from Cobra Kai.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna...
No, I'm just kidding. His name is actually Zolo Mariduena, and to my surprise, he did well playing this role. He was relatable, kind, and pretty funny at times. Of course, not only are we following Jaime in this movie, but we're also following the Reyes family. And they're pretty much the lovable, dysfunctional family that you've ever come across. Some of them gave decent performances in this movie, especially George Lopez, playing as Rudy Reyes. Not only does he have great chemistry with our main lead, but he can also be quite useful. And let's not forget Jenny Cord, played by Bruna Marquezine. Now, I'm not gonna lie, while the actress may give some good performances here and there, I feel like some of her line delivery in this movie felt kind of awkward. I'm not saying she's a bad actress, I'm just saying that some of her dialogue in some scenes come off as pretty odd if you ask me. I don't know if it was the direction or the writing for this character, but I'll let this one pass. Now for our main villains, starting with Victoria Cord, played by Suzanne Sarandon. She was the typical billionaire tycoon who wants to take over the world through military weapons and technology, etc., etc. And that's all she is, folks. I knew it!
I knew it.
But there was this other antagonist that came off as pretty intriguing, which was Conrad Carapax. And I have to admit, there are some moments in this film where he can come off as pretty intimidating and scary at times. And he had this tragic backstory that you're curious to learn more. But all that changes when he turns into this mechanized robot version of Blue Beetle. That's right, folks, he has fallen into the category of the villains who has the exact same powers as the superheroes.
Damn it.
Oh, come on, you guys! Really? You're gonna fall into that trope again? Not only did we not spend enough time with this villain, but they gave him one of the most generic and funny looking robot suits I've ever seen. Are we sure that the writers didn't come up with this design from watching the Power Rangers shows? I mean, look at that thing. Tell me that doesn't look like a Power Rangers villain. And besides, even if they were planning on using a villain that has the exact same powers as Blue Beetle, then why not have a villain like that character, Black Beetle from Young Justice? Even though it's been a while since I've seen the show, I still remember this character. And he was freaking bonkers, man. He was taller, stronger, and the most powerful villain Blue Beetle has ever faced. How come they didn't use that villain for this movie? Why is it so hard to write a good villain?
Action and visual effects.
Now, the action was memorable, exciting, and pretty creative, especially how Jaime uses his powers.
Let's party.
Although, when we do get to the climax between our main hero and that funny looking robot, the fight itself looked a little messy and kinda hard to watch. But to be fair, it ended on a really high note. As for the visual effects, the CGI looked pretty good in this film, especially in this scene, where Jaime turns into Blue Beetle for the first time.
What the...
Host acquired.
Who said that? Okay, it's gonna be okay!
Oh, look, he's flying.
When I first watched that scene, it was pretty funny and awesome at the same time. Although, some aspects of the CGI didn't look that great. And like I said before, the climax looked a bit messy, especially with all the CGI involved. I swear, every time one of them shoots a laser or two, it reminds me of Dragon Ball Evolution where Goku and Piccolo shoot each other with red and blue fireballs. Come on, Blue Beetle! You're not supposed to remind me of that! You know what? Forget it. Let's just move on.
The story.
The story did well presenting the Latino culture, the tone in this film was consistent, and it delivered some pretty heartfelt messages about family and such. Although, the problem I have with the story is that it's very generic and very predictable. I'm serious! There are so many elements and conventions in this story that has been done before in countless other superhero origin stories, like Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Iron Man, and even Venom. What the heck? In short, my friends, this story didn't really offer anything new in the superhero genre. Overall, my friends, this movie was pretty decent, but not the greatest I've seen. Like I said before, this film didn't offer anything new or original. It simply rehashed what has been done before in countless other superhero origin stories. But you have to give credit where credit is due. It was well casted, the action was good, and I'm interested to see how James Gunn is going to use Blue Beetle in his new DC universe. If you haven't gotten the chance to see this movie, I recommend checking it out, and let me know what you think. With all that said, I give Blue Beetle an 8 out of 10. Woo! That's the end of my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, and please follow me on TikTok at DocRonces for cheerleader reactions, funny videos, you name it. And as always, I will see you guys at our next appointment.